What's going on, Arizona sports fans? Thank you so very much for tuning back in. I really do appreciate it. Now, today what I want to talk about was Kenyan Drake and his possibility of not being an Arizona Cardinal next year. There was an interview during Good Morning Football. He was asked if there was any talk communications with the Cardinal organization, and he said no, that there was no talks about extending his offer. What are the Arizona Cardinals going to do in the running back position, guys? That's what we're going to dive into today. Let's go ahead and roll that intro. Guys, welcome back in. Now, like I mentioned in the intro, I wanted to talk about the different possibilities of different routes that the Arizona Cardinals can go ahead and go to, because Kenyan Drake most likely will not be back in the 2021 season, so we got to start looking at different options. Now, I know we have Eno Benjamin, I know we have Chase Edmonds, but I do not think Chase Edmonds is going to be the #1 running back for the Arizona Cardinals. I believe we tried it already. He seemed to have got hurt, so I love him as a #2 option, and that kind of that running back that catches out of the backfield, I love him in that whole scenario. But I really do think that the Arizona Cardinals should start looking into getting maybe another bigger type running back, a big bodied bruiser type running back, maybe not being a #1 running back, but also a running back that can get those ugly 1 or 2 yards. So that's what we're going to do today. But first, if you're new, please consider subscribing to the AZ Sports Fan on YouTube. We talk everything Arizona Cardinals here. We do have free agency coming just around the corner, so make sure you have your post notification bell on and smack a like on this video if you like this type of content. But without further ado, let's go ahead and just jump right into the topic of choice here. I want to go ahead and break this up to 3 different categories. My first category is going to be running backs that want to kind of revive their career within the NFL. They've made mistakes going to some teams and it didn't really work out for them. So my first player I want to talk about is none other than Le'Veon Bell. Now, he was with the Jets, probably one of the worst decisions in terms of like a football decision for his career. He did not do very good over there. Now, when he was with the Steelers, he was probably seen to be a top 5 running back, and when he went to the Jets, yes, he got the bag, yes, he got his payday, but everybody stopped seeing him as a top running back, and that was really concerning for him in his career and his legacy. So Le'Veon Bell could be a very good option for the Arizona Cardinals, but another thing that we need to really look into is that I really do think he thrives of having a very good line, and the Arizona Cardinals do not have a very good line, so that could be a very big emphasis of him maybe not working within our scheme and not really working in general. But I do think that Le'Veon Bell could be an awesome asset to the Arizona Cardinals, maybe not making him a #1, but somebody out there maybe as a #2 or #3, something along those lines that could really help us get those yards that we need to get. Another player to me that is really intriguing is none other than Todd Gurley. Now, this guy, when he was with the Rams, playing his first years with the Rams, this guy was dominant, especially if you had him in fantasy football. This guy went off every single game for like a year straight. He was probably seen to be probably the #1 running back, in a couple years span. But obviously, running back positions don't really last very long within the NFL, and he went to the Atlanta Falcons, and he did not do very good there as well. So he could be another opportunity for the Arizona Cardinals to get on a cheap deal and really try to see if he can flourish within the Arizona Cardinals scheme, because let's be honest here, I do think we are looking for a #1 running back, and Todd Gurley could possibly fit that if he still has enough in the tank. But we really need to see, and we need a team to really give him the opportunity to really take a look to see if he has it still. And like I said before, he would be on a really cheap deal, because Atlanta Falcons, his career there with his 1 year, he didn't really do so hot at all. But I really think that we can get him on a cheap deal and possibly bring him into the Arizona Cardinals. Now let's move over to my second category here, which is still free agents, but they're big body free agents. So first one is going to be none other than Mike Davis. He was playing with the Carolina Panthers, and I really do think he should get an opportunity as a #1 running back. Now, he can fill that void here within the Arizona Cardinals, because we need that big body running back that can get us those ugly yards, or that can even kind of feed him 8 times, 9 times a game, and he can get rolling. And that's exactly what we need here for our backfield, especially with Kyler Murray back there being, his small stature. He's not really able to get those ugly yards, but we can get somebody like Mike Davis to do that. Now, I do think he'll be a little bit more expensive than a Le'Veon Bell and Todd Gurley, but I think it would be worth it. Now, I see something along the lines of maybe somewhere along the lines of $6 to $7 million a year. I think that's fair to really go ahead and bring him in and see what he has and what he can go ahead and do with this Cardinals offense, because we need a running game to get going, and I really do like what he brings to the table. So that could be a very good option for the Arizona Cardinals. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. The next player I want to talk about is none other than Leonard Fournette. Now, this guy already has a Super Bowl ring. He might be a little bit more expensive than Mike Davis just because he's got that Super Bowl ring. Now, whether you say he deserved it, whether you say he wasn't the #1 running back, it doesn't matter. He still has his ring, and that's what he's going to take into his next contract. Now, whether he's going to be signing back with the Bucs, which I don't think it's going to happen, but I really do think he could be an option for the Arizona Cardinals. Now, I know he had a poisonous situation with Jacksonville. He didn't want to be there. He made it ugly. The drama was real. But this guy is a big-bodied running back that can really get us those yards, and I really like what he can bring to the table. Now, last year, his stats, 367 yards and 6 touchdowns. Nothing crazy, nothing flashy, but putting him in a scheme and putting him in an offense that he can go ahead and be productive, I think he will be happy here. He could go ahead and start getting those yards that we very much need. We can start bringing those RPO, plays back up, get Kyler Murray running on his running game as well, but also have him in the backfield. I think it would be an awesome idea for the Arizona Cardinals to be really looking at Leonard Fournette and see if we can get him on a contract to bring him into this club to see if we can produce within this offense. Now, my third category here, the Arizona Cardinals can also look into getting a running back in the draft. Now, this one is very intriguing to me. I really do like this option more than anything because the way the trend is going on right now within the NFL, it sucks to say, but they're really treating it as running backs are kind of a dime a dozen. We can go into the draft and get in the later picks, the later rounds, a running back, and he can be good for us for about the 2 or 3 years that we need him. I know it's a terrible way of thinking because running backs are players too, but that's kind of been the trend that's been happening right now. So I can foresee the Arizona Cardinals do something like this. So a couple different players that I want the Arizona Cardinals to get in the later rounds is going to be none other than Trey Sermon is going to be my very first player. Now, he is from Ohio State. He's 6'1", 215 pounds, over 870 rushing yards and 4 touchdowns. Now, I get the touchdowns aren't big, isn't explosive, but he also sharing the backfield as well in Ohio State. But I really do like him as a prospect. 6'1", 215 pounds. He can get us those ugly yards, and he's got fresh legs. He can come into the NFL and really see what we can go ahead and do with him. Now, I do think we can go ahead and get him in the later rounds, maybe a 5th, maybe a 7th, somewhere along those lines, because we can really need some running back talent that we can very well get in the later rounds. And I think Trey Sermon can definitely very well fit that mold for this Arizona Cardinal offense. And it won't be expensive because you're paying him on a rookie deal, and he's coming in as a later draft pick, so sky's the limit. We'll see what happens there. Now, another draft prospect that the Arizona Cardinals could be looking into getting is none other than Chuba Hubbard from Oklahoma State. Now, I really do like him as a prospect as well, and I think he will be available in the later rounds. Pretty much the same talking points that I have for Trey Sermon as Chuba Hubbard. His stats were 625 yards, 5 touchdowns. He's 6 foot, 208 pounds. I think he can definitely bring some fresh legs in this offense, and we can get him in a later round on a cheap, low risk, high reward type of thing. So I really like what I've seen from Chuba Hubbard. Let's take a look to see what the Arizona Cardinals are going to do. Those are 2 prospects that I really want the Arizona Cardinals to probably target during the later rounds, or maybe even get him. Maybe if he's not drafted, get him undrafted and trying to bring him into training camp and see what he can do. And honestly, if it works out, then perfect. We got him in a later round. If he doesn't work out, then we got him in the later rounds. It's the way I like to look at it. But another player that I know a lot of people are going to mention to me, I know that this comment is going to happen on the video. So I do want to mention Najee Harris. Now, Najee Harris is going to be picked up in the first round. I do not want the Arizona Cardinals to pick a running back up in the first round. I just don't. There's just so many more needs for this Arizona Cardinals to go a different way, a different route, especially on the defensive side with DBs and all that different stuff. So I do not want them to go Najee Harris in the first round. Now, if he slips to the second round and he's still there, I think it's a no-brainer. Absolutely is a no-brainer for the Arizona Cardinals to pick him up in the second round. But I don't think that's going to happen. That's really it's like fool's gold. It's not going to happen. I really do think he's going to go in the very first, or maybe not like towards the late of the first. But Najee Harris is an amazing, amazing prospect. Don't get me wrong. Over 1,400 rushing yards, 26 touchdowns for Alabama. Amazing, amazing talent. And I get what everybody's hype is, and everybody wants to see him, next to Kyler Murray. They're going to be explosive, yada, da, da, da. But keep in mind that our offensive line isn't the best at all. So putting him back there is not really going to do much for Najee Harris at all. It's really just probably going to hurt his career in the NFL. So I don't want the Arizona Cardinals to go that route, because we can go running back towards the later part of the draft, which that's the route I want to go. But we'll see. We'll see what happens here, guys. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Out of these 7, 3 prospects and 4 possible, free agents, who do you want the Arizona Cardinals to go ahead and get? Definitely let me know in the comments below if there's somebody that, you want that I didn't mention. Put everything in the comments. Don't forget to drop a like on this video, and if you're new, please consider subscribing to the AZ Sports Fan on YouTube. All right, that's all I got for this episode, guys. Thank you so very much for watching, and I am out. Thank you.